More embarrassing that people don't know how to spell hiccup. H-I-C-C-O-U-G-H. That is how you spell hiccup. That is actually how you spell hiccup. Yes, because Americans have changed the spelling to hiccup, like they changed the spelling of color to color. That is how you're supposed to spell hiccup. I know. That's why I wrote it down. Number 26 has 2 answers. You are allowed to write 10.5 liters because the question just says how much paint does he need. So he needs 10.5 liters. But if it's sold in 1 liter cans, he needs to buy an 11th can. Whichever way you write it, I don't care. That's going to be out of 2. Making this whole page out of 13. Yep. Now, of course, he only paints the walls. That's why it's 4 times 3 and 3 times 3. And there's 4 walls. It's not a TV show. There's actually 4 walls. Add it all up, and then, of course, you had to multiply by 3 because he painted 3 coats. Because his idiot older brother painted the room purple. So he needed 3 coats to cover it. Why you would ever cover a purple room, I don't know. Purple is obviously the best color in the world, but what are you going to do? Everybody good on the first page?
No.
So, math. Oh, huzzah! Also a fun word to say. You good? There are the first 2 answers. Now remember, this answer right here could also be something else. It could be it could also be 609. Georgia. No. Oh, unless you, yes, the volume could then be, 1 sec, let me do the math. Yes, the volume could also be 890. Those are worth 2 each, so that whole squares out of 4. Heather first.
Can you show how you got the volume? Because I did something.
Yes, I will show volume. Of course. Okay, surface area. There's no formula for this, is there? So you just add up the surfaces. How many blue walls are there? 2. How many green walls are there? 2. How many yellow walls are there? Times 2. And how many, I'm running out of highlighters. How many pink walls are there? 2. How many bottoms are there? 1. So all you do is add up all those shapes. The green one is 5 by 20 by 2. The blue one is 4 by 20 by 2. The yellow one is 4 by 8 by 2. The bottom is 8 by 20. And the triangle, depending on how you did it, you could have gone 5 by 5 and divided it by 2, which is 12 and a half, and then there's 2 of them. So the pink could be 25, but it could also be 24 if you did that one, if that right angle wasn't there. And then you just add up all those numbers. Volume. What's the volume of every single prism, Heather?
The base.
Base area times
The height.
the height. Base area, what is the base? Is it the bottom?
No, it's
The shape that repeats.
yeah.
So I'm going to outline it in dark green. because that shape repeats right there, doesn't it? Okay, so that's the base. And what's the height? 20, because the height is the direction the base repeats. So we know the bottom here was 32, and we know this was either 25 or 24, depending on how you did it. 24 is what it really is, or what it should have been. So that is 24, and 32 is 56 times 20. Sorry, no, it's not 24, it's 12. It's 12 because there's only one of them. So it's 44 times 20. Or if it was 25, it's 12 and a half, it's 44.5 times 20, depending on which way you did it. Now, why that doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen, why I forgot to take that out and why that's important is because this and this, if they are both 5 and that's 90, this cannot be 8. It's the square root of 50, which is 7 something. That was not supposed to be there. So you were supposed to split this in half and do Pythagoras to get this distance of 3. Nathan.
When we're doing like our multiplication or addition or whatever, you want to leave all the decimals in when we're still adding it together.
Yeah. There won't be any decimals in this one, but if there is, you should never round until the very, very end.
Okay.
Or your decimals will always be off of mine. All right. This one has no change. There's a couple of ways you could have done both of these questions. So if people need them, I will show, of course. But I can't show you every way. I can only show you the way I would do it. Did anybody want to see either of 29? Which one, Heather? Surface area, certainly. The way I do this surface area is this. I imagine that this is a whole prism. And then I use the formula. And then the only thing missing from that whole prism what's missing from that prism is just that rectangle, right? And there's 2 of them. So I find the surface area of the whole prism, and then I subtract 18 for that rectangle, and I subtract 18 for that rectangle. That's the way I do it. There's other ways. You could do it just like over here. You could add up every face. You could split it in half, find the surface area of that, the surface area of that, and subtract 2 of those, because that's the overlap. You could do that too. Both ways would work. Everybody good? Okay. And volume, of course, base area, this shape right here, repeats at the back. So all you do is find the surface area of this blue part and multiply it by 8. Just like that swimming pool question. That's also out of 4. Please notice I am not showing work because I don't want to influence your thinking. That's why I'm only showing work if people need it. Because I've already shown you how to do these, and by now you've figured out some of your own shortcuts and methods. I don't want to mess with them. Yeah. Number 30 is only out of 2 because I only asked for surface area. I will accept either 200 pi or 628 and then whatever the decimals are. I don't care what the decimals are. Did anybody need to see that one? Okay. I'm going to come back to the bonus question at the end. But the answer was 1.79. There is 32 out of 2. It also could be, of course, 2,714 point blah. I don't care. Pardon me?
33, how's volume
Well, I haven't gotten to 33 yet. I'm about to. I'm on 32 still. Anybody need to talk about 32? All right, and 33 is going to be out of 4. And I know somebody's already asked about volume. Does anybody need to ask about surface area? Okay, so volume of a sphere is 4 pi r cubed over 3, right? Well, 4 times pi times 28 cubed over 3 is 29,269. That's what's up here over 3. And that's what you leave it as. Oh, I lied. Sorry. I did the division already. It's 87,808 pi, 87,808 over 3 pi, or 29,269.33 pi. That's what it is. I divided that and then forgot to write it. Or this one is around 10,000-ish, and this one is around 93,000 or something. If you did the long, or if you didn't keep it as pi. Heather,
What would you give if the work was right, but the calculator work was wrong?
what do you mean?
Like, I had the formula.
You wrote this?
Yeah, but then I just calculated it totally wrong on my calculator. It got the wrong answer.
Well, then if it was out of, if just that would have been out of 2, I'd probably give you 1.5. Because of course, as I've said numerous times, before you touch your calculator, what should you do? You should estimate, right? 28 is pretty close to 30, right? 30 times 30 times 30 is about 27,000, right? Which is pretty close to 25,000, right? 25,000 times 4 is 100,000, right? 100,000 divided by 3 is 33,000, right? So you need an answer around 33,000. That's what it really is. It's pretty close to 33,000. Sam.
For the questions where it's like draw a net, would you mark it wrong if we didn't draw a net?
If I ask you to draw a net, I want to see a net. Right? You can't go fishing without a net. A net. Better. All right. So that makes that page out of 6. That page out of 10. That's 16 and 13. That makes the whole thing out of 29. Now listen to me, please. You will report that score to me on your test tomorrow. You will write your name on it, kid, and then you will give me some score, and you all got 29 out of 29. Right? Sure you did. That's what your test will look like tomorrow. Then I will enter that and check my mark. Okay? Now, we have a couple of moments. Let's talk about the bonus question. Yes, Malik. I believe it was worth 6. 2 for the cylinder and 4 for the sphere. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen. Yo. Can I show the bonus question to everyone first? Because that's everybody. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We agree that this is what the water looks like in the container, yes? The container is a cylinder, right? Everyone's cool? So, the water here is creating a cylinder, right? Okay. Right now, that water is in a cylinder that has a radius of what? 8. And how tall is that water?
The water's 25.
The water is 25, right? So this is 25 with a radius of 8. Agreed? When we have a radius and a height, we can find this volume of water, can't we? Because the blue volume equals pi r squared h, correct? Everyone agrees, right? Okay. Now, the next thing I do is I take this triangular prism that has a base area of 20 and a height of 18. So this is 20, this is 18, so this guy has a volume of 360, right? Everyone agrees? So what is going to happen when I take this and I drop it in there?
The volume rises up.
The water is going to rise, isn't it? Just like when you get in a tub, right? So the original cylinder ended right there at 25, yes? Once I drop this thing in, I get a new cylinder. Yes? And that new cylinder has a volume that is equal to pi r squared h, correct? Okay. What is the r? 8. Do we know the h?
No.
No, but do we know the volume of this cylinder?
Yes.
Yes, because the volume of this triangular prism was 360. So this new volume must be 360. Right? 8 squared. And then we just do algebra. 360 equals 64 pi h. Divide both this by 64 pi, and I get 1.79. How did you do it, Isabel?
I did it something a bit more complicated.
Yeah, there's a way more complicated way to do it. I like this way.
Yeah, and I should have done it this way.
That's okay.
So, first I found out like the volume of all the things.
Mm-hmm.
So like the water and the triangular prism.
Mm-hmm.
Then I actually added up the volume of the water to the triangular prism, and then let me see. Then I did the.
Then you did what I did. You put volume
Yeah.
equal, and then you solved for h.
Yeah,
And then you subtracted 25.
Yeah, it's 26.79.
Yeah, and then you subtracted the original 25 to get 1.79 there.
Yeah.